A little girl lost to the water.
Next on King 5 News, dive teams go underwater looking for a 2-year-old girl apparently swept away in a powerful river.
Killer stalks a killer, how Ted Bundy helped investigators in the now infamous Green River murders.
Search for an arsonist, a church burns away, and investigation begins.
Sewage out of control, 200,000 gallons of untreated waste spills into a western Washington harbor.
50 years of bringing babies into the world, a celebration of the life and times of Margaret Mosley. Good evening, I'm Jean Anderson, back after being gone way too long.
And welcome back. And I'm Bob Sellers in for Dennis Bounds. King 5 News is next.
Number 1 at 5, you're watching King 5 News. Coverage you can count on. With all the news for Western Washington, today's top story, and First Alert weather. And now, King 5 News at 5.
The face of an angel, it haunts her family and rescue crews tonight. 2-year-old Kylie Alberts was apparently swept away in the tricky currents of the Skycomish River. By air, land, and water, the search is on for the toddler who may have waded into the waters of the Skycomish on Saturday.
Yeah, but tonight the search has changed from a rescue mission to a recovery operation. King 5's Chris Ingalls is near Monroe tonight with our top story.
Yeah, it's not even pleasant to think about, but here's what this operation has come to. As you mentioned, it is now a recovery operation. And take a look just over my shoulder here. Just beneath the boat there, perhaps you can see those bubbles. That is, those are the bubbles that are coming from a diver who is below the surface there as dive teams try to recover now the body of the missing girl. But so far, after more than 7 hours of searching today, there's been no trace of little Kaylee. Search teams put their equipment in the water for a third straight day. While boats and jet skis combed the surface of the Skycomish, divers explored the depths. They located 2 deep craters in the riverbed and descended into the dangerous environment.
There's rocks and boulders and holes and pits and just general unevenness, and then undertows and currents that batter them around that they have to keep fighting to get down toward the bottom.
Police and family believe 23-month-old Kylie Alberts dashed into the Skycomish River Saturday night. She was last seen playing with other children during a large family gathering at her uncle's home. On this nearby riverbank, family found Kaylee's wagon and a trail of tiny footprints leading into the water.
You know, we all believe that she went into that river, and even though no one actually seen her go in, the evidence sure points towards that. And you know, I'd like to see my sister and my brother-in-law be able to have something that's tangible in front of them, and, you know, so they can say their final goodbyes.
But goodbyes don't come easy. Wiping tears from her eye, Kaylee's mother stood on the riverbank and placed sunflower plants in memory of her baby. Dozens of family members have stood vigil along the river.
You know, you're sort of drawn to it. You just need to be there because that's what you need to do.
There's a live look now as another diver gets into position. You can see the yellow tank on his back there. That'll give him about 20 minutes of oxygen. They use up a lot of oxygen under the water there because, as we mentioned, the currents are very rough and they have to use a lot of energy trying to fight those currents. And we'll stay with, there we go, come back this way. Okay, Bill. And as we mentioned, the operation continues here, and it's been very perilous for these divers as well, but so far, no luck today. Reporting live aboard the Skycomish, I'm Chris Ingalls, King 5 News.
Chris, how long will the search go on today?
Actually, Gene, they say they'll stay here as long as they have good light. It does take a lot of light to see into the water here. As long as they have good light, they'll stay out here. They won't quit, at least they say, any earlier than 7 o'clock tonight.
All right. Chris Ingalls on the Skycomish River.
Well, more details now on our top story. Kaylee Alberts' family is from Surrey, British Columbia. She would have turned 2 years old on Friday. We'll update the search tonight on King 5 News at 6:30 and 11.
In the meantime, the police in Tacoma are getting dozens of tips and offers of help in a baffling disappearance of a 3-year-old girl. Lenoria Jones was reported missing 11 days ago. Her aunt, Berlene Williams, says the little girl disappeared while shopping at a Target store. But after checking out surveillance video, police say the girl never entered the store. Authorities have been skeptical about the aunt's story ever since.
I think it's pretty unusual. You know, the fact that we haven't had anybody come forward that actually saw the child on that last day.
Last week, the aunt was called before a juvenile court judge in a closed-door hearing, but authorities will not reveal the outcome of that hearing.
A new book about the hit store shells reveals an unlikely consultant teamed up with police to find the so-called Green River Killer. The book is the work of a former Green River investigator, complete with previously unpublished confessions of a serial killer. King 5's Lisa Pappas with the story tonight.
The Green River Killer has never been caught. More than 45 women died during the murder spree. At first, their bodies strewn in the Green River area. As the years wore on, more were found in Edmonds, Star Lake, Enumclaw, even Oregon. A strange, unsolved case, and now a strange new twist.
It was like something had, say, snapped. But I knew.
Notorious serial killer Ted Bundy was a consultant to the Green River Task Force. A book set for release in mid-August says that Bundy offered up ideas and ways to catch the Green River Killer. Bundy cited personal experience and told investigators he often went back to the scene of his crimes, watching police and picking up loose pieces of evidence, even moving victims' body parts around. The book is written by Robert Keppel, the chief consultant to the Green River Task Force and now chief criminal investigator for the State Attorney General's office. The first meeting between the law and the lawless happened in November of 1984, after a judge in Pierce County delivered a letter to the task force. Keppel explains, quote, "It was a letter from a wannabe consultant and the most unlikely person I ever expected to be of assistance in the Green River murders. The letter came from a cell on death row in Florida. The sender was Theodore Robert Bundy. I was stunned."
The whole time he was
Stunned
talking,
and intrigued,
got his
Keppel and
eyes
Bundy
shut.
met on several occasions over the next 5 years. During that time, Bundy admitted to more than 30 murders, at least 8 of them women from Washington. Bundy was later executed, and the Green River Task Force was eventually shut down with millions of possible suspects and no solid leads.
The new book is a look into that investigation from the perspective of one of the detectives. It's also very clearly a look into the life of a serial killer, Ted Bundy, whose own nickname for the Green River Killer, the Riverman, became the title of this book.
Lisa, you just got off the phone with Bob Keppel minutes ago, and you had a pretty interesting conversation.
Yeah, he's in Florida right now at a conference, but we talked a little bit about why Ted Bundy may have helped, and apparently Keppel thinks that it may have been because Bundy was jealous that this guy took over his territory.
Huh. All right, Lisa Pappas, thanks.
Senator Bob Packwood will not be facing public hearings over alleged ethics violations.
Tonight, the U.S. Senate Ethics Committee has said no to the proposed hearings on charges of sexual and official misconduct. King 5's Stacey Hutchins joins us live from the nation's capital with the details. Stacey?
Well, Gene, the Senate Ethics Committee says Bob Packwood will not face his female accusers in open hearings. However, all evidence, depositions, and affidavits in the case will be turned over to the Senate and the public at large.
After a 3-week hiatus described as a cooling-off period, members of the Senate Ethics Committee went behind closed doors today and finally squared off with the public hearings question. The committee has found substantial credible evidence Packwood made sexual advances towards 17 women, that he altered his diaries, and tried to land his wife a job through lobbyists. In a motion today, the committee's 3 Democrats voted for open hearings to resolve the charges. The panel's 3 Republicans voted against, and in a deadlock, the motion failed. To prevent a possible outcry from Senate Democrats and perhaps the public as well, the committee agreed to an unprecedented move, releasing all materials relevant to the Packwood case. Committee member Larry Craig of Idaho says publicizing the evidence will satisfy the public's right to know.
So the question remaining was the public's right to know. We believe that with a full disclosure of everything, including depositions, that the public will be granted that important right.
All over the Hill tonight, senators are reacting to the Packwood decision. Oregon Senior Senator Mark Hatfield supports it.
Well, I think that's one of the prerogatives of the Ethics Committee, and if that's their feeling and their judgment, I have to respect that.
I think that's a mistake. I think that at this point they should, I think for the good of the Senate, I think for the good of Senator Packwood, everybody involved, they ought to hold public hearings.
I've got to go along with the Ethics Committee. I mean, they're intimately familiar with this whole issue.
This is like stopping, a judicial proceeding midstream. It's bizarre.
Is this a bizarre move for the Ethics Committee to make? Perhaps. Is it unusual? Certainly. Remember, after publicizing all this information, members of the Ethics Committee must then decide what punishment, if any, to hand down in this case. So it remains to be seen what they'll decide with the watchful eye of the public involved now. Bob, Jean, back to you.
All right, Stacy, thank you.
Well, some 200,000 gallons of sewage is spilling into Blaine's Drayton Harbor tonight. Hampered by heavy tides, divers from Bellingham are still searching for the hole in the broken pipe. Located somewhere between Blaine and Semiahmoo Spit, King 5's Bill Prasad is in Sky King tonight with an update on the rupture. Bill.
Bob, the latest word from divers is that they have not been able to find that portion of pipe that is broken. We are several thousand feet above Whatcom County waters. Let's take a look down there. This is Drayton Harbor. Blaine's Water and Sewer officials say they think the rupture is in the same location as one that occurred several years ago, and that caused a major mess. Divers from Bellingham are in the water right now trying to find the broken pipe located somewhere between Blaine and Semiahmoo Spit. Officials say the breakage occurred sometime Saturday night or early Sunday morning. An estimated 200,000 gallons of the raw sewage has been dumped into Drayton Harbor ever since the break.
We're still hunting for the break. We have divers out there now. They've located the line, and now they're following it along to see if we can find the tide change when the tide slacks back off.
So divers are having major problems with the currents at this time. They may have to wait until tomorrow before they actually find the portion of pipe that is broken. In the meantime, the Whatcom County Health Department says crabbing and swimming are off limits in the Blaine Harbor and Semiahmoo areas. Now, once they do get the pipe fixed, officials say it should take 2 to 3 weeks before the water cleanses itself. I'm Bill Prasad reporting live above Whatcom County.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Well, senior citizens scrambled to safety today, evacuated after a fire broke out on the roof of the Stanwood Senior Center. Workers were repairing the roof of the center this morning when a blowtorch sparked a fire. Firefighters rushed to the scene as aides hurriedly evacuated the elderly from 41 housing units. Roofers managed to douse the blaze before fire crews arrived. Luckily, nobody was hurt.
A 28-year-old man is in critical condition tonight after an attempted arson apparently backfired. It happened in Monroe. Detectives say the man was trying to set fire to the Monroe police station early yesterday morning. He had 2 gas cans and was trying to ignite the smaller one with the larger one.
Didn't accomplish that, so he took the bigger can and splashed it on the west wall over here and then the windows and the wall by the door, and then ignited it that way, and apparently some of it splashed back on his clothing and he ignited himself.
The man suffered burns over 60% of his body. No damage to the police building, minor damage to some nearby landscaping. Now police are trying to determine the motive behind the bombing. They say the man had some minor run-ins with the law before, but had not been arrested. The search intensifies today for the arsonist who set fire to a church in Seattle. The fire at a building on the corner of South Dearborn Street and 25th South caused an estimated $750,000 damage. King 5's Mona Lee joins us from the scene live with an update on the investigation. Mona?
Jean, as you can see, this section of South Dearborn Street remains closed today, and that's because the brick wall behind me is unstable and could come tumbling down at any minute. Owners plan to bring cranes in to help knock it down before that happens. In the meantime, fire investigators are busy sifting through all the information they've collected. They hope to close in on a suspect soon. Pastor F.L. Braswell and his wife Ada started the Full Gospel Pentecostal Community Temple more than 30 years ago. Their dream is now reduced to a pile of bricks and ashes.
And if we could have stopped it, we would have. But I just don't know. Why would somebody do something like this?
Fire ravaged the 2-story building Friday night. Members of 3 separate congregations practicing under the same roof watched helplessly as flames engulfed their house of worship. But it didn't take long for fire investigators to pinpoint the cause. They say someone deliberately set fire to a piano located at the back of the building. Witnesses claim several kids ran from the area shortly before the fire broke out.
There were a lot of witnesses that came forward to investigators that night. And a lot of tip information is continuing to come in over the weekend, and so investigators are following up on all that.
Today, the church sits, a burned-out shell, boarded up and fenced off. Members of the community continue to come by and mourn the loss.
It's disruptive, you know. It's also kind of scary when things like this happen, but I think it kind of brings everybody together.
But the faith is strong, and church leaders who specialize in helping the troubled, gang members, alcoholics, and others, say they're now more determined than ever to rebuild.
I didn't realize that the church meant so much to them. And our faith haven't slacked at one moment. This has strengthened our faith. we're a fighter, not a quitter.
Now, if you'd like to help the church out, you can send a donation to the Full Gospel Pentecostal Community Temple at any branch of U.S. Bank. Again, the damage is estimated at $750,000. Luckily, the building was insured. I'm Mona Lee, reporting live in Seattle.
All right, Mona, thank you.
Another fire. Arson investigators have arrested a suspect in the series of fires set at Shoreline's Echo Lake Apartments. The 32-year-old white male laborer appeared in King County Court Saturday in connection with 5 blazes started in his building this month. King County police say a fingerprint found on the scene linked him to those crimes. The suspect is being held in lieu of $25,000 bail and has prior convictions for arson, theft, and controlled substances violations. Still more to come on this edition of King 5 News. Coming up in our second half hour, drug enforcement agencies are offering cold, hard cash to people who turn in pot growers.
A tropical storm hits Texas now. Another threatens Florida.
But first, a small western Washington town closes its only fire station. But where will the residents turn if they need help? Find out next.
Hi, we're big fans of your Jumbo Jack.
Yeah. Thanks.
They're still 99 cents, right?
Sorry, that price was for a limited time. By the way, who's flying the plane?
Who cares? We missed the 99-cent Jumbo Jack deal.
You want me to bring back the 99-cent Jumbo Jack?
Cool! Yeah.
Anybody else? Yeah! Okay then, back by popular demand, the 99-cent Jumbo Jack.
Actually, I'm tired though.
Oh, here we go again.
I drove all day. And now I'm knocking and pinging.
I don't care.
You don't care
okay?
that I knock and ping.
It's not that I don't. Well, actually, no, I don't care.
Do you know why I knock and ping?
Why?
Because I need a higher octane gas.
So?
But you get Chevron Supreme with Techron. I can't believe that.
Because I'm a car that's designed for high octane.
But I'm the one that's knocking and pinging.
Whose fault is that?
It's not mine.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes.
No premium outperforms new Chevron Supreme with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
No.
Yes.
No, it isn't. Yes.
In 1295, the explorer Marco Polo returned from China and introduced to Italy pasta.
My queen.
We found a place around the corner.
It's amazing what you can do with the everything pages from GTE.
Oh, Mother, I've cut the grass and the hedges. Is there anything else I can cut for you, Mother?
If you're suspicious about all the work they're doing, it's because they want something from the Bon Marché back-to-school sale, like Levi's 550 jeans for just $19.99, Bayern Spumoni dresses and separates for 25 to 30% off, or 25% off Bugle Boy, Nike, Reebok, and all Russell fleecewear. It's a back-to-school sale that'll keep them working and you wondering.
I could cut Jamie's hair.
You're watching King 5 News at 5.
The city of Fircrest is about to lose its fire department.
After 52 years, the city's decided to close down the volunteer shop and let the Tacoma Fire Department take over. King 5's Susanna Frame is standing by live with the reason for the change. Susanna?
Gene and Bob, exactly, I'd say about 16 minutes ago, a 52-year legacy came to an end here in the town of Fircrest. That's when the Tacoma Fire Department officially took over all the duties here, and the goal is to make the community safer. The community of Fircrest is losing a bit of its small-town personality today. The city is surrounded geographically by Tacoma, but is proud of its independence. Seeing the all-volunteer fire department go means some residents are owning up to a change in the times. David Srail was a volunteer for 31 years.
Was it a source of pride to have your own fire department?
Yeah. And, you know, the city of Fircrest, it's sort of nice to have, to be able to say the department's their own.
Volunteers have been running on fire calls for 52 years, but the medical calls have increased dramatically in the last few. And with a dwindling number of volunteers willing to do the job, city officials decided they needed more security.
Well, Fircrest is like any other community. We get the stabbings and the shootings, and of course they're far and few between in Fircrest, but yet they're still here, and we get drug overdoses and things of this nature. But the calls are on the rise, and predominantly most of our calls are medical aid calls, and you know, that's where we had a problem with enough manpower.
Firefighters who are staying on the job spent the day switching out gear. They're expecting to provide better service under Tacoma, especially with the addition of a paramedic, which Fircrest has never had.
The move to Tacoma taking over, I think, was
was needed, and it was due because mainly of the paramedics. And at my age, I'm very parochial. I want the paramedic there to help.
I have to say 52 years of service here in Fircrest is not going unrecognized. All day long, people have been showing up here at the station to say, hey, thank you. You did a great job. You can see behind me here, there's a wreath of flowers that was sent in dedication to the volunteer service. Interestingly enough, it's not cheap to contract with the city of Tacoma, about $370,000 a year to get these services. But that is actually cheaper than it was going to cost Fircrest to do the job on their own. That would have cost more than $400,000, so they're saving money. And with the money that Tacoma's getting, they're able to hire 5 additional paramedics. Some of them will be now working here. I'm Susanna Frame reporting live in Fircrest.
The end of an era. Thank you, Susanna.
Well, the residents in Miami are preparing for what's expected to be a disastrous storm. Tropical storm Erin could become a hurricane before hitting the southeast coast of Florida sometime tomorrow. Right now, that storm's about 320 miles southeast of Miami, moving at about 12 miles an hour. Residents are already preparing for the big hit. Jerry Helfman explains.
Residents are filling up on water, filling up with gas, and filling up their cars with whatever they need to get them through the next couple of days.
What are you guys buying the wood for?
Probably just to go ahead and, board everything up if it gets bad. If it starts getting to be, wind sustained over probably 75, 80 miles an hour, we'll probably go ahead and board up.
You got your work cut out for you here?
Yes, I do. I'm just about out of rope, too, and I need some more.
You gonna go home and put the boards up right away?
Yeah. I'm going to start drilling holes and making sure the boards at least stay in one piece before the storm hits us, hopefully.
If it's coming, I have to be ready. If it's not coming, I'm ready for next time.
But you're gonna board up just in case?
Yes, have to.
Despite the rush in the stores to buy wood, batteries, flashlights, and the like, stores tell us there are plenty of supplies to go around. The traffic outside of grocery stores and building supply stores is bumper to bumper. And the same tie-ups are taking place inside the stores as well.
At this Publix in Miami Shores, the line got progressively longer as the afternoon went on. By about 1:20 in the afternoon, the checkout line wrapped around into the frozen food section.
Oh, it's a zoo. It's a zoo. We just got here like 20 minutes ago when we were picking up cases of water just when we came in the front door, and then they were gone.
I'm buying ice and water and perishable things for the hurricane, because the last time I was stuck without ice water and ice. So I'm trying to stock up today.
Reporting for NBC News, I'm Jerry Helfman.
Well, tonight officials are ordering many residents along the southeast coast to leave their homes and businesses before that hits. The evacuation could affect as many as 650,000 people. The weather in Seattle, a lot less challenging. Sunny, warm, but will it last? Jeff Renner up to his tricks next, and he'll tell us.
Coming up later in the newscast, meet the woman who's dedicated a half-century of her life to helping newborns.
Also, 2 Seattle area doctors think they know how to reduce the number of sudden infant death syndrome cases. Information every new mom and dad need to know.
I'm Jim Foreman in Seattle. Tonight I'm working on a story that will help keep you, and more importantly, your kids safer as they surf the internet. And who's behind it all may surprise you. The details coming your way only on King 5 News at 6:30.
Discover your Northwest with Evening Magazine.
It's a broadcast exclusive. Jay-Z Knight breaks her silence and opens up her thoughts and her home to Mimi Gann.
We're going into your underground bunker, right?
Yeah, oh
Is
yeah,
that right?
Yeah, this is a biggie. Not very many people get to see this.
From underground bunkers to mind control, from lawsuits to scholarships. Find out the full story behind the Northwest's most famous guru.
Evening Magazine, tonight at 7 on King 5.
Subway's asked us to review the turkey and bacon deluxe. What do we think? It's great. Nice, juicy turkey with all the trimmings and slices of real bacon. Subway, what a sandwich.
Breyers has created another shamelessly seductive ice cream dessert called Romantica. But despite its enticing curls of chocolate, its shivers of rich ice cream, its whispers of cookies and crunches, Romantica could leave you with one small problem. New Romantica from Breyers. One slice is never enough.
It's only natural that children look to their parents for answers. So to help you explain why some things that may be fine for adults aren't right for children, Anheuser-Busch offers Family Talk, free advice from professionals to use with your kids while they're still learning to be grown up. And their favorite teacher is you. Let's stop underage drinking before it starts.
Is it our imagination, or is MCI saying some pretty nasty things about AT&T lately? Maybe it's because 4 out of 5 customers will save more with AT&T True Savings than with friends and family. Or because AT&T True Rewards members enjoy points good for free AT&T minutes and free frequent flyer miles just for being AT&T customers. Maybe that's why every week thousands of MCI users are switching to AT&T. Call to switch to AT&T now. Your true choice, AT&T.
King 5 First Alert SchoolNet is sponsored in part by your local John Deere dealer.
This is King 5 First Alert Weather.
Well, a gorgeous day, and we hope that all of you that are out of town, as well as residents, had a chance to enjoy this gorgeous weather. But I want you to know, see this view right now? This doesn't happen very often over downtown Seattle. That special message for all of our out-of-town visitors right now. If we take a look at the current conditions over downtown Seattle, 82 degrees, the pollen count finally very low. Turning to Tacoma, clear skies or mostly clear, and a current temperature thereof, as we're going to see right here, 83 degrees. Moving a little bit farther north up the Puget Sound coastline. Oh, look at that striking picture, really, of Mount Baker. And the current temperature in Everett, 71 degrees. Now, nothing, absolutely nothing to show you on radar. Let's go to SchoolNet, and we'll see that low temperatures this morning range from 49 degrees in Marysville on up to, well, 54 in Pacific Beach and 57 on the other side of the hills over in Lake Chelan. High temperatures today, very summer-like, very beautiful, ranging from 77 degrees in Linwood among the cooler places on up to 84 degrees in Issaquah. But one of the warmest places right now, a little bit farther south and west of Issaquah, namely Lakes High School in Lakewood. Currently, as we take a look at that, 78 degrees, winds are calm, and as is no surprise to anybody, no rain whatsoever in the rain gauge. Now, the latest series of satellite pictures suggest only a subtle change. High pressure still protecting us from any significant cloud cover, but see this band to the north and west of us and how that sort of slides by to the north? That's going to just switch the flow of air from slight offshore to a little bit cooler, more moist onshore, and that means the possibility of some low morning clouds and then partial afternoon clearing to be certain. Low temperatures then tonight. Those are going to be ranging from, well, the coolest spot, 50 degrees down in Olympia, on up to 56 degrees in Seattle, all under mostly clear skies. Then tomorrow, just some patchy morning clouds and becoming mostly sunny. Highs from 67 in Oak Harbor, a little bit cooler as we can see from Everett north and westward, but then warmer in the mid-70s to low 80s from really Everett southward. The warmest place, 82 degrees in Olympia. Still warm east of the Cascades, too. High temperatures over there from 83 degrees in Pullman to 94 in the Tri-Cities. Chance of a little bit of a thunder shower in the far northeastern corner of the state around Spokane. Also notice increasing low clouds along ocean shores. Winds tonight not too bad, probably strongest along the coast northwesterly, 10 to 25 miles an hour. Picking up tomorrow, peak winds in the Strait, 15 to 30 miles an hour. I would expect to see probably a small craft advisory in the afternoon. East, up in the mountains, sunny skies, afternoon past temperatures 65 to 72 degrees, and the 5-day outlook. Are you ready for that? How about that? Not quite golden orbs each day, but about as close as you can get to it without actually having them. Did you follow that? I didn't either. Anyway, mostly sunny highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, really through Friday and even the weekend. Seafair weekend, I believe.
Great.
Not looking bad either.
Yeah, the only way it can get any better is if it lasts, and it's going to last.
And this is just Monday, and I've got 4 days to change my mind, but I don't think so.
Looks great.
Okay.
Jeff, thanks.
Well, the media takes center stage in the nation's most famous murder trial. Found out why this TV reporter is giving O.J. Simpson's attorneys the silent treatment. She's refusing to talk.
If you suspect your neighbors are growing marijuana, who are you going to call? The Washington State Patrol wants informants to dial a toll-free line, and we'll give you that number next.
Also, we'll tell you why more and more newspapers are being stolen nowadays.
Shop the new Mervyn's, now open at the corner of Union Hill and Avondale Road in Redmond.
And now, if you'll follow me, the highlight of our tour, the Odyssey from Honda. It has a low step and height for short legs. Not 3 doors, but 4, for quicker trips to the bathroom. And it has a luxurious interior, our own juice holder, child-proof door locks, and a hideaway third seat, making room for 5 or 6 dogs.
See the Odyssey at your Honda dealer.
Can our parents use it? Only with our permission.
Introducing the 1995-96 Key Banks Broadway at the Paramount Series. The Phantom of the Opera returns to Seattle. An all-new West Side Story. The Pointer Sisters Ain't Misbehavin'. Broadway's An Inspector Calls. And the Tony Award-winning How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Call 292-ARTS and be a part of the new Key Banks Broadway at the Paramount Series.
Hello, I'm Mariette Hartley for Rada Custom Decorating. George always gets a little nervous when I redecorate. He's afraid he'll lose his favorite spot. All this room really needs is, that's it, new window treatments. I couldn't have done it without the expert advice of the professional decorator at Rada Custom Decorating. See, George? I told you not to worry. Call Rada Custom Decorating for your free in-home consultation. It's so demanding. They take care of everything, and you'll love the discount prices. Call now and see your home in a whole new light.
You're watching King 5 News with Gene Innocent and Dennis Bowers.
For more than a year, reporters have been clamoring to tell the public details about the O.J. Simpson case.
But today, one LA reporter didn't say very much at all when she was called to testify. On the other hand, a blood spatter expert helped bolster the defense theory that blood was planted on Simpson's socks. And prosecutor Marcia Clark made a surprising announcement. Clark saying she can prove O.J. Simpson did wear those gloves used in the murders of his ex-wife and her friend. David Gregory reports from L.A.
Tracy Savage took the stand without the jury in the room. Pressed to reveal her sources, Savage wouldn't budge.
Did your sources include any officers or agents of the Los Angeles Police Department?
I respectfully decline to answer that question. I must assert the SHIELD law.
The SHIELD law protects anonymous sources, but not when information could help prove a defendant's innocence. That's the case here, argue Simpson's lawyers, but no decision yet from the judge on the issue. The socks were the topic of testimony with defense expert Herbert McDonald back on the stand. He continued to support the defense theory that blood was planted on the socks, but on cross-examination, Marcia Clark suggested McDonald's conclusions were less than scientific.
In characterizing the stain as a compression as opposed to a swipe, were you attempting to make it sound more sinister, Mr. McDonald?
I am a scientist, not an advocate, and I am not changing, modifying, or correcting anything for anyone's benefit.
The defense declined to have McDonald talk about his glove shrinkage experiment after prosecutors claimed they could prove the murder gloves do in fact fit the defendant. Prosecutor Marcia Clark suggested she would show the jury old NBC Sports footage to make the case.
Can you establish a foundation that those gloves are the same gloves?
Yes, I can.
Interesting.
The gloves did not fit Simpson when he tried them on in court, but prosecutors argued shrinkage was the problem.
Now, those pictures of O.J. Simpson wearing dark gloves during his broadcasting of cold weather games for NBC have been around for a while now, but unless the defense provides any further evidence of the gloves not fitting, the murder gloves that is, it is unlikely that that footage would ever make it into the trial before the jury. Back to you in Seattle.
All right, David Gregory live in L.A.
Well, law enforcers in Western Washington are hoping cold cash can help crack down on an illicit cash crop, marijuana. The State Patrol is offering a reward to neighbors who squeal on their neighbors who are growing pot. And it all starts with a 1-800 line. Here's King 5's Jim Foreman with the story.
You are looking at an illegal marijuana growing operation.
The Washington State Patrol is teaming up with federal drug enforcers in taking to the airwaves.
Help eradicate marijuana.
And to the newspapers to encourage neighbor to turn on neighbor in return for up to $5,000 in cash rewards. It's all an effort to crack down on marijuana growers.
Well, we're still talking about the reporting of a crime. Marijuana growing is a crime.
The police offer these pot spotting tips: large purchases of fertilizer, garden hoses and PVC pipe, camouflage nets, no trespassing signs, guard dogs, and unusual structures in remote areas. This isn't the first time out for the 800 number. Last year, officers took in 280 calls, resulting in the arrest of 97 people. But it is controversial.
I think it's a divisive way of trying to divide the people.
The people that are armed and dangerous, you're not going to get them with, you know, an ad for $5,000.
The Fremont Hemp Company legally sells everything from rope to clothing made from the same plant family of cannabis. The folks here say the state is misguided.
I would call it somewhere between McCarthyism and Nazism, turning your neighbor because of what they believe or what it appears they believe or what it appears they're doing.
But the police counter, the tips they get, often weed out much more than simple small marijuana growing operations.
The confidential tips that we received from the phone line over this hotline has led to more than just marijuana grow operations. We've uncovered cocaine and also heroin operations as well.
Now here is that hotline number, 1-800-388-GROW. Again, that's 1-800-388-GROW. If you think you have something to report, that's the number to call. The federal government is paying for the newspaper ads, highlighting the new reward scheme, actually not new, but the revamped reward scheme. And law enforcers are asking television stations to donate airtime to play those TV commercials. Very controversial idea that the State Patrol says works very well for them.
Well, why are they doing it now?
They say that most of these grow operations are done indoors, but this is the perfect time of year when people start, if you're prone to this type of thing, to start growing your marijuana outside where more people can see it, and they say now's the time they're going to get more tips.
Very good. Thank you, Jim.
Criminals on the streets of Tacoma tonight, not selling drugs or mugging people, but taking a valuable commodity. King 5's environmental reporter Scott Miller with the target of these thefts.
Tacoma residents are good about recycling, but lately the newspaper loads have been a little light. Out in Tacoma's neighborhoods, thieves are emptying curbside bins, looking for aluminum cans and newsprint before the recycling trucks can get there. The woman who lives in this house lost newspapers a few weeks ago, soda cans this morning.
They put extra care into recycling for the city and have to get up extra early in the morning to put it out, and it kind of ticked me off that they were stealing from the neighbors and from myself.
People down on their luck have been scrounging for a few bottles and cans for years. But officials here say this is different. Earlier this year, they caught one man stealing a ton of newspapers a day. These days, a ton of old newsprint goes for as much as $150. A few years ago, it was almost worthless. One big difference is all the newsprint recycling plants that have come online. They need old papers to run.
Since the price has gone up, we're averaging anywhere from 4 to 10 complaints a week on people stealing curbside materials.
Who are they stealing from? Ultimately, you and me, because the sale of recyclables goes to offset the cost of collecting them. That's why in Tacoma, officials are asking residents to jot down a license plate number if anyone pulls up in something other than a truck like this to empty your curbside bins. In Tacoma, Scott Miller, King 5 News.
If you live in Tacoma and you do see someone raiding your recyclables, call the recycling hotline. That number's 565-5955.
This is a reminder that staining your house can be a real pain. So do it as little as possible, like every 10 years, with Eagle Hardware and Garden and Bear Stains. Bear Stains offer a unique oil and latex blend for 10-year durability, and Eagle offers 250 Bear products, plus Eagle experts to guide you through every phase of the job, from prepping to the finishing touches. So you'll stain once in 10 years, because once is enough.
Eagle Hardware and Garden. More of everything.
One of the most important things you can do for yourself in life is exercise regularly. If you do, you will look better and feel better, and you'll sleep better too. My job is to get you to try out our fabulous facilities at Hearts Athletic Club and let us design a custom summer exercise program just for you. If you call this number now, you'll be connected to the Hearts Athletic Club nearest you, and you will learn about my exciting 6 weeks for $10 full-use membership offer. Call now and get started on the road to achieving the results you really want.
Presenting the trouble with money. Paparazzi. We never said being a millionaire was gonna be easy.
Dairy Queen is introducing 3 nutty blizzard-flavored treats and Breeze frozen yogurt treats. And they're on sale for just $1.29. There's the breathtaking chocolate almond.
I love this.
Awesome pecan crunch.
I want one.
And tantalizing walnut fudge. 3 new nicely nutty Blizzard and Breeze flavors now on sale for just $1.29.
Hot eats, cool treats, we treat you right.
A battle over welfare reform today between President Clinton and Republican presidential candidate Bob Dole. Both presented their plans to the National Governors Association meeting in Burlington, Vermont. This morning, Dole attacked Clinton's plan as too minor for a big problem.
And change does not mean just tinkering at the edges. And to quote someone we've all heard about, Ross Perot, it means opening up the hood and totally overhauling the engine.
Just a couple hours later, the president revealed his plan, which encourages welfare parents to get a job.
You can't expect someone to leave their children and go to work if they have to worry about the safety of the children or if they'll actually fall behind economically for doing it because they don't have child care.
Dole's plan would shift most welfare decision-making to the states. Clinton says the federal government should keep a hand in running those programs.
Political bickering kicked off the Waco hearings on Capitol Hill today. The controversial inquiry tops our news in brief. One of the committee's Republican co-chairs, Bill Zeliff, claims the president was directly involved in the decision to end the siege with the tank and tear gas assault. But the charge was vehemently denied by the Democrats.
Reported to the president her plan. He asked some questions, and then he said, based on your expertise and what you've been advised, go ahead. In short, the president was informed but did not interfere with the decisions of law enforcement experts.
Attorney General Janet Reno says she was solely responsible for the decision to launch the assault. She'll testify before that committee tomorrow. Mickey Mouse and Roseanne could soon share a dressing room. This morning, the Walt Disney Company, I know, it's hard to think about, purchased ABC Television for $19 billion. The deal is the second largest takeover in U.S. corporate history. Disney chair Michael Eisner.
I am totally optimistic that 1 and 1 will add up to 4 here. I am totally optimistic that this entertainment company will stand for things that the country stands for and that our kind of quality entertainment stands for.
As well as ABC, the deal also gives Disney control of the cable sports broadcaster ESPN, newspapers, including the Kansas City Star, plus 8 ABC-owned and operated local television stations.
Ovarian cancer proves fatal for most women who have it.
Well, now doctors have come up with a new treatment that could change that. Details next.
And a Seattle nurse says goodbye after half a century of hello to newborns.
What could be better than having delicious, fresh-baked varieties from Entenmann's? How about paying less for them? Entenmann's, new varieties and lower prices. What could be better?
Circuit City's got unbeatable computer savings every day, and that means there's no better place to buy your new computer. Get unbeatable low prices on all the top brands. And right now, during Circuit City's Computer Expo and sale, get 0% interest for 90 days on every computer. Plus, get a free Windows 95 upgrade on every IBM-compatible computer. Get a $200 price break on this AST multimedia computer with $550 software package, just $1399.97. Now's the time to save. Hurry into Circuit City's Computer Expo and sale, going on now.
Bad idea. The $2.99 engagement ring.
Well, I never know.
Good idea. The $2.99 Skipper's shrimp and fish basket. Bad idea, the $2.99 European vacation.
Paris. Cool.
Good idea. $2.99 for 7 succulent shrimp and a fillet of fish, plus fries, coleslaw, and a corn muffin. Bad idea. The $2.99 parachute. You know, personally, I'd go with the Skipper's deal.
King 5 News is sponsored in part by Skippers.
The city of Seattle is moving up in the world, literally. The city council voted to purchase a new city hall that is 62 stories high. Lori Matsukawa joins us live from the newsroom to explain. Lori?
Good afternoon, Jean. The city of Seattle will negotiate to buy the Key Tower, formerly known as the AT&T Gateway Tower. The building will cost about $125 million and will consolidate offices now located in 3 aging buildings. But is it too swanky? Could the city get more for its money by building its own custom campus? The pros and the cons coming up on King 5 News at 6:30. Plus, we'll take you inside to see the new digs.
Okay, Laura, I look forward to it. Thank you.
For 70% of all women diagnosed with ovarian cancer, surgery and standard chemotherapy are not enough. That's because despite the treatments, the cancer keeps coming back. But researchers in Illinois are testing a new treatment. It's called high-dose chemotherapy, in which bone marrow cells are removed, separating stem cells from the blood. Then the body is flooded with 7 to 10 times the normal dose of chemotherapy. Doctors hope this technique will kill all the cancer.
With ongoing conventional therapy, the survival is less than 10%. So that's the group that we think that we're going to affect an improvement in prognosis, and we're shooting for what looks like perhaps maybe 30 to 40% curability in that patient population.
Ovarian cancer patients are considered cured when they've been cancer-free for 5 years.
6,000 infants die every year in the U.S. from sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. But a group of doctors thinks that number can be greatly reduced by doing one simple thing: putting the baby to bed on its back. Almost half of all babies currently sleep on their stomachs, and researchers believe that puts them at greater risk of dying in their sleep. Doctors have found no evidence that sleeping on the back increases the risk of choking.
In King County, our data would indicate that a baby who was placed on its abdomen to sleep is 3.5 times more likely to die of SIDS than if the same baby were placed on his or her side or back.
Doctors also warn not to put your baby to sleep on any soft surface like a sofa or waterbed that could muffle the baby's breathing. And another warning, don't smoke in the house. Doctors don't know why, but the risk of SIDS seems higher for infants whose mothers do smoke. 50 years and almost 150,000 babies later, Margaret Mosley is hanging up her whites and retiring from Swedish Medical Center. It was in 1945 that Margaret first left North Dakota for Seattle to begin her career as a nurse. Today, Mosley was honored in a special retirement tea. King 5 photographer Bill Fenster was there as co-workers bid goodbye to the maternity ward angel.
People that spend as much time here as you have, and to have the same kind of attitude at the time of retirement that you did when you started, I think is remarkable.
One thing about this department, you just fall into the role of the family unit real quickly, which I think is making it so satisfying to work here.
This is from the staff and nursing administration in the hospital for you.
Well, thank you. I can't believe this is happening to me. It started in January. This is so much. And I think our babies are much more wide awake and alert now because mothers don't have a lot of sedation like they did 40, 50 years ago. For 50 years of outstanding service, Swedish Medical Center, July 31st, 1995.
There we are.
I thought about the literally thousands of people that you were involved with in terms of their delivery and the number of babies that you held in your arms, and I thought, well, maybe at this point in time I could get you to give me a little hug.
Pretty clever, huh? Wow, I bet she's the kind of person who will miss those babies crying. Of all the infants Margaret's seen come into the world, 4 hold a special place in her heart. Her own daughters, all born at Swedish. She also has 11 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. Congratulations, Margaret.
The Hydros are coming to town this week.
Up next in sports, we'll show you one boat that definitely will not be in the race.
And some cuddly cubs are celebrating at the Woodland Park Zoo. We'll tell you why a little later.
And will we be celebrating the weather for the 1st of August? Jeff Renner with an update just a few minutes from now.
2 parents murdered. Could their sons have done it? Neil Patrick Harris and Roseanne's Johnny Galecki. A true story that'll keep you guessing till the end. A family torn apart. NBC Monday. NBC scores an amazing 85 Emmy nominations. We proudly congratulate the talented casts and crews of television's finest programs, the best dramas, including ER, with more nominations than any other show on television. The best comedies, with 4 outstanding comedy nominations. Congratulations to NBC's Emmy nominees.
Hi, welcome to Godfather's Pizza.
We'd like a combo.
Pepperoni. Combo.
Pepperoni. Hey, order my delectable half and half. You get half of my famous 6-topping combo and half pepperoni. Lip lock on a medium for just $9.99, or get a large or one of my jumbos. They're hot, with a price to match.
Size?
Large.
Godfather's Pizza's half and half. Get a medium half combo, half pepperoni, just $9.99, or make it a larger jumbo. It's your choice, only at Godfather's Pizza.
Do it.
Do you like it? I love it.
Snuggles got a new fresh scent, and Stock Market Foods has it.
How'd you do it, Snuggle? It's a secret. I won't tell. Well, first I added a bushel of raisins. Wow. Then a sprinkle of stardust. Woo! And one more special freshness maker. Know what it is? It's sunshine, right?
Treat the noses you love to the longer-lasting freshness of new Snuggle. It's on sale at Stock Market Foods today.
Why do more Honda owners come back to Honda? Car after car after car. It could be state-of-the-art engine technology, or extraordinary handling, or maybe it's the feeling that Honda is one car maker that won't let you down.
King 5 News is brought to you in part by Honda.
Both go fast.
Yeah, this time of year I really like because I love the hydro races.
You knew the week to come back to work, didn't you? Yes, you did. A lot of noise on the river. And in fact, the biggest week in hydroplane racing is upon us. Seafair qualifying begins Friday. Now, yesterday, some sensational racing at the Columbia Cup in Pasco, the preview, right? Turned out to be a duel between Mark Tate and Chip Hanauer. And look at this. Tate in the Smokin' Joes and Hanauer in the Miss Bud Trade paint at nearly 150 miles an hour. More of the same was expected in the final, but it didn't happen. The Miss Bud broke a prop and was out after one lap. Tate cruised to the win and has the momentum and the points lead over Hanauer headed into Seafair.
Broke a propeller in the final, and means we're going to have some late nights.
But everything will be ready, okay?
Oh, yeah. You can count on it. We'll be there.
You know, we got to put this behind us real quick, stay focused, and concentrate on what we need to do next week in Seattle to retain this point lead that we've accumulated here this weekend in Tri-Cities.
Should be a great race this weekend. Meantime, in baseball, the Mariners, with the day off, they open a 3-game set with the division-leading Angels tomorrow night in Anaheim. Sonics, though, made an addition to their front office, adding former Pistons general manager Billy McKinney. He is now the team's vice president of basketball operations, and he sees a bright future for his new team.
When I've looked at this team from afar, I think one of the things that happens as the team grows into greatness, it stumbles along the way sometimes early. And if you look at a lot of the great championship teams, particularly the one I came from, the Pistons, they had to bump their head several times before they finally discovered the will to win and learned how to win the right way in the big games.
The injury cloud seems to keep hanging over the Seattle Seahawks. Pro Football News is not good for the Seahawks, who cannot seem to shake their awful luck with injuries. Linebacker Bob Spitulski he always had the worst luck imaginable. 2 years ago, he went down with a serious injury to his left knee. On Friday, he injured his right knee. He flew to Florida for a diagnosis and over the weekend, and he will likely need surgery. If so, he could be out 8 to 9 weeks. But the shining moment in Seahawks history came on Saturday when Steve Largent was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Gracious as always, the congressman from Oklahoma thanked all who made his great career possible, none more important, of course, than his wife, Terry. Garth Swanson takes us back to Canton, Ohio.
And Pro Football Hall of Famer from Seattle, Steve Largent.
Steve Largent, the newest member of the Hall of Fame. But if you ask him, there should also be a spot in the hall for his wife, Terry.
She's my best friend, and there's a song called The Wind Beneath My Wings, and that's really describes my wife, Terry.
We've just known each other forever, and
could hardly do life without each other.
Carrie and Steve didn't see much of each other on induction day, but you knew the connection was there. And now 4 children later and 20 years of marriage, both are still going strong. You might think after being inducted into the Hall of Fame and also being elected to Congress, you'd think it'd go to Steve's head. But think again.
Thank you to my wife, Terry.
Not with Terry around, she watches his every move to make sure he stays in line.
He says what keeps him straight is that you make him do the dishes and pick up his dirty clothes.
Well, I think I used to have to make him, but now he's really good. He's well trained. I wouldn't want to have to do that over again.
Still have a wife that says it's time to take out the trash, or you take the kids to school. You know, that's keeps your feet on the ground.
I owe you my deepest thanks. Thank you.
But after a Hall of Fame weekend, you can bet Steve is still floating tonight. In Canton, Ohio, Gart Swanson, King 5 Sports.
Congratulations to Steve and his entire family. Meantime, the minor league baseball action tonight. The Aqua Sox host Eugene, and the Rainiers, they host Albuquerque, both games 7:05. Now, back after a busy weekend trying to keep up with the largest at the Hall of Fame, as our own Mr. TV was something you got to see. With the Hydros coming to town this week, no one wants to see this, folks. In Australia, speedboat driver Jim Thompson goes airborne and flips over before his boat will crash into a bunch of pieces at a speed of over 100 miles an hour. Miraculously, I don't know why we keep saying it, but it's true, Jim Thompson swam out of the wreckage and walked on the shore uninjured. Jim Thompson of Australia, yeah, he's a pretty lucky man. Back next hour with more on the Hydros, plus what happens when you cross a giraffe with a soccer ball. We'll find out at 6:30. I kind of want to know that myself.
Tough to guard.
I'm telling you. Big time tough to guard.
Thinking. See you at 6:30.
You got it.
And nice weather to do anything outside.
Beautiful weather. Jean, of course, enjoyed some tremendous weather when she was off, and all of you are going to enjoy some beautiful weather over the next couple of days. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, low temperatures for the most part in the low to mid 50s. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, 79. Some areas of low morning clouds Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but otherwise partly to mostly sunny. Highs in the low 80s. Saturday, maybe cooling off a little bit. Low morning clouds, still partly sunny in the afternoon. Highs upper 70s. Nothing to complain about too much. And does Sunday look any worse? As a matter of fact, the answer to that is no. And you will see that, again, we're looking for just some low morning clouds, partly sunny in the afternoon, highs mid-70s to right around 80. You wanted summer weather. You've got summer weather.
The good
as
news,
do the
man.
rest of us.
Very good. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
Thinking about the weather and that giraffe and the soccer ball. A new cop policing the internet. The Guardian Angels say they're now logged on to cyberspace looking for criminals. On King 5 News at 6:30, find out why some say their presence is not welcome. Plus, we'll tell you about a new experimental drug to treat prostate cancer. That's today's medical breakthrough report. And it might look bizarre, but this new treatment for heart disease is producing promising results. We'll show you how it works. King 5 News at 11.
And finally at 5, a special birthday luncheon today for 2 residents at Seattle's Woodland Park Zoo. These male jaguar cubs celebrated their first birthday with fun and food. As a special treat, zookeepers gave them what they call blood sickles, frozen popsicles full of the cat's favorite meats. Well, one of the babies decided he'd rather have watermelon in there. The baby cats still don't have names and are still living at home with Mom, Jessie. Just as long as it's not in my blood.
Yeah, for sure. So
that's it for us. Thanks for watching.
See you tonight at 6:30. We're going to take you to New York now, NBC Nightly News. Think about the giraffe and the soccer ball at 6:30.
We'll have the answer.
Day in and day out, more people get their news from King 5 than any other television station in the Northwest.